Hello, everyone. Just going to get my presentation up here. Okay, so I want to welcome everybody to the Virtual College Exploration for all Pennsylvania students. This is sponsored by Pennsylvania Association for College Admissions Counseling and StriveScan. PACAC is a nonprofit association comprised of more than 1,200 school counselors, college admissions counselors, independent education consultants, and other professionals responsible for guiding students through the important transition from high school to post-secondary education. Thank you everyone for joining us. Just a few housekeeping tips as we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to any of our presenters. Your camera and microphone are turned off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at pacac.org. This presentation is recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website. Once again, pacac.org. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters.
Great, thank you so much. Well, I am thrilled to be able to share some information with you today about my university. So I am going to go ahead and pull up my presentation here for you. So my name is Sasha Keurig. I am one of the assistant directors here in the Office of Admission, and I am the admission officer responsible for all of Pennsylvania. So should you choose to apply, I would be the person working with your application. So now you know who I am, and I'm always available to answer any questions that you may have. As we said, I encourage you to chat in any questions that you may have through the Q&A box throughout the presentation. I'll make sure to keep an eye on it, and I'm happy to answer questions at any point in time. So kind of just jumping right into things and giving you a brief overview of who we are as an institution. So Christopher Newport University is one of the public liberal arts and sciences schools. We're located down in Newport News, Virginia. So that's right in between Williamsburg and Virginia Beach in southern coastal Virginia. We're about 2.5 hours south of Washington, D.C., depending on the traffic, obviously. But we're incredibly lucky to have a beautiful residential campus. We have approximately 5,000 students on our campus. That 5,000 amount includes our graduate population, which is only about 200 students. So the vast majority of our time, energy, and resources is going to that undergraduate experience. And just for your reference, you can see a couple of those fast facts and figures on the screen for you relating to retention rates, how many out-of-state students we have, graduation rates, as well as employment rates. So jumping right into talking about academics, because that is the point of college. So Christopher Newport, we can offer about 90 different programs to you, everything from business and engineering to the performing arts and philosophy. So we have a huge range available through our 3 colleges and 1 professional school. Now, as a liberal arts and sciences university, this means a couple of things we do may be a little different than some other institutions. One of them is that all of our students technically do not declare a major until second semester sophomore year. So if you know what you want to study already, that's fantastic. You are ahead of the game. You're still going to get to take those classes in your first 2 years. We're not keeping you from them, but it's simply not official until that second semester sophomore year. But if you're like many students out there where you are unsure about what you want to study or maybe debating between a couple of things, just know that how it works for us is every student from day 1 is assigned what's called a core advisor. That's an upper level faculty member who is trained, 1, to really help you make that transition to the collegiate academic environment, but also to help you explore our 90 programs, help you coordinate with our Center for Career Planning if needed, to take personality tests and aptitude tests. But they're really there to talk about your goals, your interests, what you're hoping to accomplish both in college and afterwards, and help you figure out what combination of programs is best for you. It's very common for our students to have double majors, double minors, and still graduate in 4 years. We really want you to be able to personalize your education with us and study the things that excite you and will help you reach those goals. Now, through all of this, like I said, we do have a liberal arts and sciences curriculum. And so what that means is that when you graduate, we want to make sure that you're not only an expert in that chosen major, but that you're able to speak knowledgeably about a wide range of topics, and you leave us with a broad set of skills that you understand how to apply in your chosen career field. We do this because we know that so many people change jobs or careers at some point in their lifetime, and we want to help you prepare for that. We also know that there are new industries and jobs being created that we can't really train you for today that will be becoming more popular in the future. And so a liberal arts education is really designed to help you be prepared to take on any of those types of experiences and opportunities. So in order to help you do this, we do have a core curriculum that you follow with us. That does not mean there are specific classes that you have to take, but broader requirements to help you build foundational skills and then show you how they apply within your chosen major. So things like how to analyze data, how to communicate effectively, how to write critically and clearly, how to work with people who are different from you. Skills that will be applicable no matter what you do and really help you to excel in your career. So once you've moved your way through that liberal arts curriculum, found those programs that you're excited about, and declared that major in your sophomore year, you're then assigned an advisor within that specific program. So in your junior and senior year, you're going to be working with a faculty member in your specific department who's able to really help talk you through what other classes you might want to take, talk about internships, study abroad, research opportunities that could be beneficial, and then really help you figure out what you'll be doing and how to prepare for that after graduation. So there's always people with you every step of the way. Now, obviously, all of our majors are fantastic here at Christopher Newport, but some of the ones that tend to be more popular or some of the stronger ones for you include our business school. We have an incredible Luter School of Business with 4 degrees as well as 1 master's level program. We have a very extensive biology department, which is great for students looking to go pre-med or even things like pre-dental, PT, pre-vet. So anything really in that medical career. We have a very extensive computer science, computer engineering, and electrical engineering department. That program incredibly strong thanks to the local resources of Jefferson Lab, which is a national physics laboratory just a few miles down the road from us here in Newport News, as well as NASA Langley Research Center in the neighboring town of Hampton, also just a few miles down the road. We have a fantastic history department, really thanks to being surrounded by so much American history here in the Hampton Roads community, so surrounded by places like Colonial Williamsburg, Jamestown, and Yorktown. We have a fantastic political science department. That program really strengthened by a research center on campus called the Watson Center. We do the majority of the political polling and research for Virginia, so great opportunities there. And finally, we have a very extensive performing arts program with both theater and music programs, both performance and behind the scenes. So a huge amount of things available to you, including as well 4 graduate level programs in very specialized areas. So a really wonderful range available to you. Now, one of the great things about an education at Christopher Newport is we want to make sure that you're able to really engage with your faculty, really get to know them, and build relationships with them. We do this and we encourage our faculty to do this, and they really step up to the plate. And we want them to build relationships with you because we know that by doing that, the faculty are then able to serve as a better resource, as a better mentor. Just like that original advisor you have, it's always great to have other people in your corner who can help you make sure you're taking advantage of all the opportunities on campus. One of the reasons it's easy for our faculty to get to know students is because of our small class sizes. So as you would expect at a smaller institution, we do keep things pretty small. About 60% of our classes have 19 or fewer students in them. On the flip side of that, our largest classroom has 100 seats in it, and only 3% of our classes have more than 50 students. So the majority of your classes, you can definitely expect at that 20 or less. Even a good number of introductory classes are still only about 30 to 40 students. So a really manageable number, allowing you to get to know your professors and your peers and really make the most of your time with us. Across the board as well, you know you're being taught by the best from day one. There are no teaching assistants or graduate assistants on our campus. And all of our faculty, about 90% of them hold the highest degree or a PhD in their field. So again, you really know you're getting those experts to help you every step of the way, really making sure that you're making most of those 4 years to really get the most out of your education that you can. Moving on and thinking a little bit about life outside of the classroom, because as I said, as a residential campus, we definitely want to make sure you have ways to explore, get involved, and meet people. We have over 200 clubs and organizations at CNU. That's a huge amount for a smaller school like us. So basically, it means our students love to stay busy and there are always things happening on our campus. We have everything from Division III athletics to Greek life, academic clubs, religious organizations, political organizations, community service groups, a cappella groups, all different kinds of things that you may be more seriously pursuing, as well as clubs that are simply just for fun. I think my favorite right now is New Gamma Gamma, which is the Chicken Nugget Appreciation Club. How a chicken nugget club is supposed to help you in life, I have absolutely no idea, but it's simply another great way to either hang out with your friends or meet some other people on campus and pursue those things that you're truly passionate about, whether it be chicken nuggets or something more serious. The great part about all of these organizations is not only do they allow you, again, to get to know people and have a little fun, but they really allow you to practice a lot of soft skills that are also incredibly important to helping you become a contributing and strong member in your community and in society. So tons of ways for you to get involved on campus. Now, within that, we also want to make sure that you have ways to really enhance your education by really putting those skills to use outside of the classroom. So it's not required, but most of our students will take abroad of what we call the CNU pillars through the CNU experience by doing things like undergraduate research, study abroad, internships, or service projects. Undergraduate research is a fantastic opportunity for students at Christopher Newport. Because we have so few graduate students and the majority of our faculty are conducting research, what that means for you is that starting from freshman year, if you want, you have the opportunity to get involved in faculty-led research. Our Office of Undergraduate Research and Creative Activity has ways for you to get paired up with faculty if you know you're interested in research, but not exactly sure how to get started or what faculties might be doing projects that are of interest to you. And they can also even help you secure your own funding if you have your own ideas and your own research projects that you want to get started on, things that'll have just simply faculty oversight and allow you to really take the reins on those projects. For students who complete undergraduate research with us, by the time they graduate, many have become published authors and many have had the opportunity to present at national or international conferences. It's work that students can really take a lot of pride in and take with them to the next level, whether it be continuing that research in graduate school or moving into the workforce. Now, study abroad is definitely a little bit different this year, of course, but in a typical year, it's very common for students to study abroad. We have about 24 of CNU-sponsored programs. Some are short-term, meaning they go either in the summer for a few weeks or maybe during breaks, and some are long-term, so maybe full semester programs as well as exchange programs. And what we do, because we're a smaller institution and we can't have all of our faculty traveling every semester, is we partner with other universities and other organizations. So we have an additional maybe 100 programs that we know are pre-approved for our students, that we know match our expectations at CNU, can get you the experiences that you're looking for, all while staying on track to be graduating in 4 years. Now, internships are also, of course, a huge part of so many students' experiences. We want you to get out in the workforce. We want you to test out what you're learning, figure out what you love, maybe what you don't love as well, and really make sure you're on the right track. There are 2 different ways that our students typically find internships at CNU. One is simply through those faculty connections that I talked about. Because again, we really encourage our faculty and the professors to build relationships with students. The professors are always happy to help students if they have industry contacts they can reach out to, or guest speakers they might be bringing in, or really anyone in the industry who might be able to connect their students with an internship. You know your faculty are always going to be there to help you with that process. But just as much as our Center for Career Planning, which does everything related to job placement and job prep for all of our students. So that includes things like helping you find a major if you're not sure what you're looking to do, but also things like how to write your resume, how to write a cover letter. They'll do interview prep with students. They host at least one job and career fair every semester as well. So we're bringing employers for both full-time jobs and internships, as well as graduate schools that are actively looking to recruit our students for both schooling and the workforce. So you know you're going to have opportunities constantly to be put in front of employers and really make sure you're taking advantage of internship opportunities. Now, the last thing within all of that, and probably one of the most important things to know about Christopher Newport, is that we are incredibly focused on service and leadership. We believe that those 2 things are an important part of helping you to become a good citizen, which is very much what we're working towards. And so you will find at Christopher Newport that while service and leadership are not a requirement of our students, it's simply part of the culture and the DNA of the day-to-day experience with us. We always say that we want our students to lead a life of significance, meaning we want you to take your education and use that as a tool that's going to allow you to give back to your community and make a positive impact in some way. And so almost every organization, as well as academic program, has ways for you to be involved in our local community, doing some engagement and volunteer work, and testing out those skills along the way. Related to all of that, really comes the idea that Christopher Newport is what we like to call a community of compassion. There's a very strong sense of community on our campus. We like to joke that we're a community of door holders, in the sense that we will physically hold the door open for you, even that really awkwardly long period of time where then you feel like you have to run because somebody's waiting and holding the door. That happens a lot to us. But it's more than the act of physically holding the door. It's the fact that we care about one another. We look out for each other. We look to support one another. And I know that sounds really cheesy and a little bit corny, but it really means a lot to our students. It means you know that you're always going to have somebody supporting you, whether that be your best friend who's helping you run a tutoring session, your classmates who will go to a research presentation you're doing, or the organization's fundraiser maybe that you're a part of, or simply saying hello to a stranger on campus and holding the door for them. You know that you're always going to have people in your corner. You know you have people looking out for you. And we want you to really embrace that. And while we know that that's not necessarily the way the rest of the world works, we do enjoy it a little bit in our CNU bubble. But we want you to take that idea of compassion, of collaborating with people, of not competing against each other, and take that into the world and use that again to help you lead that life of significance, help you to make a positive impact, and help you to take that education you've been earning and do something good with it in the world, whatever that might mean to you. So we've created this wonderful community on campus that's really going to support and embrace you. And part of that comes from the fact that most of our students are living on campus. As I mentioned earlier, we are primarily a residential campus. About 85% of our students live with us. It's required through your junior year. So freshman, sophomore, and junior year, you are on campus. It's optional for our seniors, and about half will choose to stay on campus. If you've had the opportunity to tour campus or do our virtual tour, you probably know why, simply because the residence halls are incredible. Once again this year, we've been ranked in the top 10 by Princeton Review as having some of the best dorms in the country. Our freshmen and sophomores all live in suite style housing. So that means 2 bedrooms connected by a bathroom, so 4 to 5 people sharing a bathroom. No hall bathrooms or communal bathrooms on our campus. Our upperclassmen are typically in apartment style housing, so that could be anywhere from 2 to 6 bedrooms. You'll have a private bedroom, a private bathroom, fully furnished, full kitchen, washer and dryer in the unit. They are incredibly nice and a great opportunity to take advantage of. So living on campus, being involved in all these organizations, and going to class together has really helped us to create this incredibly strong community and sense of family on our campus. So hopefully at this point in time, you're starting to get excited. You're starting to say, well, I think I like Christopher Newport. So how do I apply? How do I get in? How do I become a captain? So that's what I want to spend our last bit of time talking about. Again, I encourage you, if you do have any questions related to the university, please feel free to chat them in through the Q&A box. I will keep an eye on that, and we'll make sure that you're getting all of your questions answered. When it comes to the application process, first and foremost, just remember that all of this information is available on our website for your reference. So where to start with all of this? When it comes to some of the basics, good to know that we accept both the coalition application and the common application. So whichever you prefer is fine with us. We have 3 different application types and deadlines. Our earliest is early decision with a November 15th deadline, followed closely by early action, which is a December 1st deadline. We strongly recommend that students apply either early decision or early action. By applying through one of the early tracks, it will absolutely increase your chances of being admitted. It will also put you in priority consideration for our scholarship programs if you apply to them. So it is 100% to your benefit to apply through an early option. Most students will choose early action, the non-binding way. And as long as you get that application in by December 1st, you can expect a decision from us about 6 weeks later on January 15th. Our final deadline is February 1st through regular decision, so still plenty of time to get that done. But again, we strongly recommend that early action option. When it comes to the review process of the applications itself, we have a holistic review, which means there are no minimums, there are no cutoffs, there is no magic combination of grades, test scores, AP classes, volunteer hours that'll get you an automatic yes. All of the information that you think is important enough to include in your application We are going to take the time to review it. That being said, we have to start somewhere. And as we establish, you're coming to college for an education. So your academic records will be the first things that we look at. We're really going to dive into your transcript, not just looking at the GPA, but look to see what makes up that GPA that you've earned. So the first thing we're going to look at is the types of classes you've been taking or the rigor of your schedule, meaning have you challenged yourself at all? If your school offers any honors, AP, IB, dual enrollment opportunities, have you taken advantage of some of those? What we're looking to see is that over your 4 years in high school, you have grown and progressed. You have found subjects that you enjoy, that you're strong in, and you have moved into an advanced and challenging schedule in your senior year. We just want to see some growth and see you really spending that last year of high school preparing for the challenges that you'll face in college. Once we look at the types of classes you've been taking, we're then of course going to look at your grades. Hopefully you have been doing well in your classes and rising to these challenges. Our students typically earn mostly A's and B's. And again, we're looking to see where you started as a freshman and where you are senior year, looking to see that growth, that strength, and really looking to see strong grades in your senior year. Having strong grades as a senior is one of the best ways to increase your chances of being admitted. Every time that new grades become available from your school in your senior year, we request those. So we're checking in on you throughout the year to see how those challenging classes are going, see that you're staying focused, and see that you're getting ready for college. Once we've worked our way through your transcript, we're then going to get to the SAT or ACT scores. You can see the middle 50% range on the screen for your reference, but please know that Christopher Newport has been a test optional institution for almost 10 years, and continuing that this year means it's just another typical year for us. We know that many students haven't had the opportunity to take test scores yet. If you have and you're proud of your scores, please submit them. We would love to have them to review with your application. But if you don't feel like your test scores are a best representation of who you are, or you haven't been able to take SAT or ACT scores yet, just know that there's nothing extra you have to do for Christopher Newport to be test optional, no additional pieces of information. It's simply one less piece of information for us to consider in the process. So you can still be fully considered for admission as well as the scholarship programs if you choose to apply test optional. The other pieces of your application that we'll really dive into will be things like your essay, your letters of recommendation you might submit, and your resume or an activities list. Those types of things really provide us more context about your experiences. They allow us to get to know you better as a person, which we want to do because grades and test scores don't tell us who you are. So we're going to look at that resume activities list to get a good feel for what kinds of things have you been involved with in school and outside of school. What kinds of things might you get involved with on our campus, and what kind of experiences you've had can you share with our students? The essay is the last required piece of the application. There's nothing specific that we necessarily are looking for in that essay other than we want to get to know you better. It's your opportunity to tell us anything that you want about yourself. So we just want to learn more about you and learn about things that we can't learn from the rest of your application. Whether that be telling us a totally new story about something you've done or experienced, or really expanding upon something that's only briefly mentioned elsewhere in your application. We look forward to those essays a lot as simply as an opportunity to hear what you want us to know about you. Now, I also mentioned letters of recommendation. They're not technically required, but we definitely encourage that you submit them. Students typically submit 2 to 3. That tends to be a good amount. You are welcome to submit as many as you would like, but they do start to get repetitive after 5. We really like to see one from your counselor and one from a teacher. But again, you're welcome to submit them from anyone in your life that you feel like can give us more information about you, whether that be additional teachers, coaches, employers, mentors. The letters of recommendation really give us more context about your experiences and allow us to hear a little bit about what it's like to work with you and have you in the classroom. The last thing that's not required of you, but highly recommended, is to have an admission interview. Interviews are already happening for our seniors, meaning you don't have to wait until you've submitted your application. You can get that interview done in advance. For any underclassmen out there, know that the interview process starts on June 1st every year. So that means over the summertime prior to your senior year, you can get your admission interview out of the way. The interview is not a scary process. It is typically a 30-minute conversation. You are the topic of conversation. Therefore, there are no trick questions because you know everything about you and we don't really know anything. The interview is simply your opportunity to sit down one-on-one with a member of the admission committee, so someone like me, and tell us exactly what you want us to know about you. Why are you excited about going to college? Why are you excited about our college? What kind of experiences, positive and negative, have you had in high school that have been important to you in some way? We just want to get to know you better as a person, and sitting down and having a conversation is the best way to do that. The interviews are required for our scholarship programs that I'll tell you about in just a minute. But again, we encourage every student to interview with us, and the interview should be completed by December 15th in order to be in priority consideration. They're being offered both virtually and in person, so you've got a lot of options available to you. The last thing we'll talk about is the money side of things. So of course, we know most students are looking for scholarships. So I want to explain how they work for us at Christopher Newport. We do not just give them out for good grades or test scores. We do make you work for them a little bit. So we have two main academic programs. By being involved in one or both of them, you earn a scholarship through them. They are the Honors Program and the President's Leadership Program. The Honors Program is the smaller and more competitive of the two. This program is great for students who love learning for the sake of learning. They like to be challenged in the classroom, and they want an enhanced academic experience in college. The main benefit are the honors seminars that students take. You typically take one per semester. The classes tend to be a little bit smaller, generally more discussion-based, generally more writing intensive, and each one is an interdisciplinary seminar, meaning it has a topic of focus that you'll cover from multiple academic disciplines as opposed to just one. So it's not necessarily that the classes are harder in the sense that an AP level class would be harder than an honors level class. They're simply taught in a different format, encouraging you to think outside the box, learn in a different way, and expand your horizons a little bit. The classes are basically like a liberal arts curriculum rolled up into one class. And because you're covering so many different areas in one of those classes, we waive about half of that core curriculum I talked about earlier, because we figure you're moving through it at a faster rate. And this will allow you even easier access to doing double majors and minors and still graduating on time. The second and more popular of the scholarship programs is the President's Leadership Program, or PLP. This one's definitely more unique to Christopher Newport, as it's a leadership development program with both in and out of the classroom components. There are three main pieces to it, the first part being academic. Students who are in PLP will earn a minor in leadership studies, which means you're actually going to study different styles and theories of leadership, the history of it, as well as theories on being a good follower, because not everyone can lead at all times. The second part is a speaker series. So each year we bring 2 to 3 speakers to campus, just people from different career fields to help you understand if you're learning these theories in class, how can they actually apply out in the real world? And then the final piece is a service component. So we will help you find a local organization that you can volunteer with for all 4 years, giving you the opportunity to truly get invested in their mission, move up within the organization, and really test out your leadership skills while giving back to our local community. Students can be involved in both of these programs or one of them individually. They work with any major on campus, and you do have to apply to them. On the application process, we'll ask if you're interested in them. You have to check yes or no. If yes, it'll prompt you to write a short answered, maximum 250-word essay. Nothing complicated. We're simply looking for more specific information related to those programs. And then it does require that admission interview that we talked about. The scholarships that you can earn through these programs range from $1,000 to $10,000 per year, with most students receiving between $1,000 to $5,000. We do have some additional specialized scholarship programs that are things you would apply to and learn about a little bit later on in the process. So for example, we have audition-based scholarships for students looking to major in the performing arts. We have scholarships available to pre-med students, as well as some specific to our Department of Computer Science, Computer Engineering, and Electrical Engineering. In order to be considered for those, you'd need to indicate an interest on those programs on your application, and then you'd be contacted later on about how to apply for them. So that is the super fast version of Christopher Newport University. The last thing that you might want to know about the application process is we do consider demonstrated interest, or basically you reaching out to us. Demonstrated interest is a little bit harder to get done this year, being a virtual world, but know that by attending things like this online, that counts as demonstrated interest. Attending CNU specific virtual sessions or open houses, coming to visit us on campus, doing your interview, or simply communicating one-on-one with your admission officer. And so that's the last thing I want to leave you with today, is simply knowing a couple things that we have going on campus. So like I said, we are open for tours and information sessions. And we also are available for those on-campus interviews. So we want you to be able to come visit campus if you feel comfortable, but if not, we have virtual open houses happening, daily information sessions, and a wide range of things available on our social media platforms as well. That officially concludes everything that I think I need to share with you today. I could clearly keep talking all day long about my institution that I love, but I put up my contact information as well as our social media in case you're interested in learning a little bit more about us. At this point in time, I want to open it up to any final questions if there are. I don't see any coming in at this point in time, but again, I am still available should there be any other questions, anything that comes up. But at this point, I'm kind of officially going to wrap things up, I think. You have my contact information should you need to reach out to me. I'm going to turn it back over to our PACAC volunteer on the other end to wrap things up. But thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck with all of your applications.
Great, thank you so much, Sasha. I definitely learned a lot during that session. For everybody who is watching this call, we want to thank you so much for joining us. Just note that there'll be a quick survey when you close the window, so go ahead and fill that out. Also, all of these sessions are being recorded. You can look them up on PACAC, PACAC.org. And in about a week, a recording of this video will also be available again on the same website, PACAC.org. Since I think most of our participants left, I'm going to go ahead and end this session. I want to thank everyone so much for joining and have a great day. So long.